Tell me, though, what's his technique? That last strike, it seems invincible.
Hello and welcome to Sons of the Dragon and Daughter, I guess, the Immortal Iron Fist podcast. My name is Karl and I.
I'm Karl Stout, and we got a special guest.
Hi, I'm Rebecca.
Yay!
Yep.
Yay!
And you probably know Rebecca. She posts on our page a lot. She posts more than Karl, who in turn posts more than me, because I pretty much don't post it.
You do the Twitter stuff. I don't touch that stuff.
I post the episodes. That's it.
Yes.
And today we are covering Powerman and Iron Fist 6, the Civil War II tie-in. The story's titled, I don't know what it's titled. Is it? Just doesn't
Guessing
have a
you
title.
won't believe who hired these heroes. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, disclaimer, dear listeners, if you hear cars outside, it's because there's cars outside, and I cannot edit every single car out of this episode or I will go crazy and I'll put a letter bomb in Bendis' mailbox. So that wouldn't be good for anyone, especially the podcast. Well, it would be good for Marvel. Anyway, yeah. But I promise by next time the car noise situation will be sorted. So, yes. Anyway.
You're gonna record the entire episode in a styrofoam cooler?
No, just throw grenades out. It's neither here nor there. So, Powerman and Iron Fist 6, the Civil War II tie-in. You won't believe who hired these heroes. And the cover is a pretty good cover. I'll let the other two people describe it because it was one in the morning. So.
Well, there's two different covers. The first one, the normal one, is them on a rooftop, and we have a shadow being cast in front of them where the words "You won't believe who hired the heroes." There's some interesting clothing on the back lines. We've got the Civil War II logo there also. And the variant cover is some strange-looking guy in like a computer cubicle with almost the identical shadow being cast over him.
I have not seen that cover. Sounds weird.
Quentin Quire, I guess. It says Q Quire on it.
I don't know who that is.
And the artist, apparently, that has done 5 and 6 is a guest artist, and the original artist will be back for 7.
Oh, so he's a guest artist, is he?
I guess he's just doing some fill-in work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's just the stories, but I like this guy's art better so far.
It's still loose and it's got its own style, but I did enjoy it better.
Seems tighter.
Oh, it's definitely tighter.
Yeah, it's like, man, but I don't know if it's just because these past 2 stories have been much better than the first 4 issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rebecca?
Yes, no, I agree. I actually agree. I think I've been enjoying the art more. But again, like you said, they've been much stronger issues, so I don't know. We'll see what happens next issue.
It's almost unfair to compare.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good cover. I haven't seen the weird one, but I like the normal cover. I think it's quite nice. I like the side backdrop. I like the poses.
Sorry, carry on.
No, I was pretty much done.
I was going to say the variant cover, the artist on it is the guy who's going to be the artist on Iron Fist.
Actually, are you talking about the Care Andrews one?
Yeah.
Okay, actually, I forgot we should probably cover that now, because we usually talk about news first, but I forgot to cover this. Yes, there is a new Iron Fist series coming out, and yes, it's just Iron Fist. And it is being written by Karl Andrews, but it's being drawn by someone else, is it?
Yeah, Afu-chan.
Oh, okay. I don't think I'm familiar with him.
No, I wasn't. But I just noticed he did the variant cover for this. So.
Okay. But, yes, it's exciting news, and it seems like if he continue with Living Weapon, he's going to do the same plot line, because he's mentioned a few times But if he continued with the series, it would be about Pi. Hey, sorry if I offended anyone. There's pronunciation. I mean, but you know, the little girl, like he'd be training her in New York to become the next Iron Fist, which is obviously a contrast to Danny being trained in Kunlun to becoming Iron Fist. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that series.
We do kind of need to find out what happened to Kunlun.
Yeah, I mean,
because it was kind of a hot mess.
Well, I mean, isn't that what happens to Kunlun?
Well, you know, the rebuild, his, you know, fling has taken over, even though she's blind, I guess. I don't.
The Amazing Man's just chilling there, being angry.
We gotta see what's going on there.
Yeah.
And speaking of, how do you pronounce his name? Carr?
I've been pronouncing it Care Andrews.
Care?
Yeah, I think it's Carrie. I don't know.
Sorry, Mr. Andrews. I'm so sorry if we are pronouncing
his
it
current
wrong.
book that's on Image, I believe, titled The One, Renato Jones, The One, is actually very good, very dirty, lots of nudity, lots of sex.
It's awesome.
But so far, very good. I hope it's not leading to exactly where I think it's leading, because then it would just be so, ugh.
Be an Iron Fist pretty cool.
But
that's where I think it's leading.
Will you shut up?
No, okay, fine.
I can't say anything because this is not a podcast about that show, and it would ruin the comic if no one's picked it up where I think it possibly could go.
I was going to say, if you were going to stop because it was off topic, that would be a bit late, but yeah.
Shut up. So, page 1, undecorated headquarters of the newly reformed Heroes for Hire.
Yeah, Danny's put on some muscle since the other artist, which is good.
Yes. Now he's got some sideburns to match the chin fuzz.
He doesn't look so much like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo anymore. He still does a bit. He looks like
more Bo Duke from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, yeah. God. Looks better than Shaggy, though.
All he needs is a red flannel and a compound bow. With a stick of dynamite tied to the arrow. We'll be good to go. Be running moonshine for Uncle Jesse.
Yeah, it's Uncle Ward.
So Jessica Jones shows up first thing with Danielle.
Are you okay?
Bringing in some food, apparently, making sure they eat real stuff instead of junk. And Danny and Luke are mesmerized looking off the panel. And Jessica's like, oh no, what's happening? And Danny's kind of in shock, saying, I can't believe it's happening again, not again. And Luke automatically goes to protect the baby, the fatherly instinct to do, even though what's happening is on the television screen.
It's like how Danny's like, I can't believe it's happening again. It's like, really? You can't believe a Marvel event's happening again? Like, every year, the world is like collapsing, or there's some stupid thing going on where like Nick Fury kills the Watcher, everyone fights each other, and he's getting surprised by this? This is pretty tame compared to some of the stuff that's happened over the past couple of years.
He's been busy doing his own thing.
Which is just, I guess, in what he was doing in Living Legend, really.
I'm going to be kind and say what he's talking about is the death, not the actual infighting.
Oh, okay.
The death of maybe.
I assumed he was referring to like the fact that it was another civil war directly, although Danny didn't really play a large part in the previous one. In fact, it's a bit weird because, I know this is a bit off topic, but in the previous Civil War, Danny,
was Daredevil.
But then he stopped being Daredevil to do his own responsibilities as Iron Fist in Kunlun. But he was in the final battle in Civil War, he was just there, even though he stopped. I don't know.
Yeah, isn't it odd that he attended Luke Cage's wedding as Daredevil?
Yeah, really.
There's a lot of strange things.
Nobody went, where's Danny?
Dyed red hair and everything.
And when him as Daredevil is getting arrested by Tony Stark, it's like, wow, that's commitment. You're getting yourself arrested just to protect Matt, who's already arrested. So,
and doing the 30 Pieces of Silver line. I'm going to be so committed, I'll do the big Catholic...
And everyone loves posting that. And it's like,
I know.
that's dumb. Because that means he's just carrying, like, this silver coin around in his mouth. It's just like, I don't know, it seems really weird to me. It's a bit
I
ham-fisted.
studying up on his Bible a lot and going, this is what Matt would do.
I mean, to be any less subtle, you have to crucify himself in front of Tony. Back on. Let's get back on. Karl, you derailed us again.
It's what I do.
Yeah, no, it's
My
every
mutant
time.
power.
Every time.
My mutant power is Tangent.
That'd be a good mutant name, actually, Tangent. If this is the 90s, I'd totally get a job at Marvel right now, but it's not. So.
We had a crazy American history teacher in high school, and it was my job every single day to completely derail him on what he was trying to teach. And I literally did it with a passion. Within the first 3 minutes of every class, I had him talking about something completely different than what he was supposed to be teaching us, to the point where we all aced our final exams and no one took one.
Wow.
All right, so Luke is taking Danielle from Jessica, and Jessica is basically saying we can't cover her eyes every time something bad happens, especially not if you and Danny are going to be doing this thing. If we run and hide whenever the world turns into a beep show, Danielle will never see her father, and that's not happening. And of course, Luke tries to put up somewhat of an argument. And then we cut back to a wider shot of all of them together with Danny saying, every day it's something new. And Jessica pretty much hits Connor's nail on the head with her next comment of the Marvel Universe in general. No, every day it's the same old, same old.
See, Danny's falling for the editorial trick. Every day it's a brand new Marvel event. Oh, I'm excited. What's going to happen this time? As Jessica, she knows the pattern. She's like, this is just, they're going to kill off another character. Someone's going to change fundamentally, and then they'll go to the next event. See, at least when this stuff happens in the DC Universe, most of the time the DC Universe actually collapses on itself, and a new universe pops up. In Marvel, they somehow still have the same universe. Where, like, just absolutely insane stuff happens every year. I mean, can you imagine living in this place?
Like, can you imagine your homeowner's insurance?
Wasn't there?
I would not be living in New York.
Was there a comic about like the cleanup crew or something, or clean up after?
Yeah, damage control.
Yeah, it was actually hysterical.
Yeah, that'd be great. I haven't read it, but I'd love to.
At least I'm talking about the one from the 80s. I think there's been a newer one. I didn't read that one.
Yeah, there's one that follows one of the events. Just a few witches. It's quite fun.
And Luke again is comforting Danielle, and then we go to a shot of the big screen TV where it says Super Clash ends in tragedy. Details are still coming in over the most recent activity involving superpowered beings.
But we suspect that there was just
has been confirmed at this point.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I was going to just have another crack at Marvel, but I'm sure there'll be plenty more opportunities for that.
Say we're only on page 3. Settle down.
Down. It's hard, okay? It's hard.
Danny's going, I feel sick. Jessica's stating, well, that's a good sign. That means you're still more human than living weapon. So I don't know if that's a hint at something that could possibly lead into the future. Again, new writing staff, so we don't know where this is going.
Very odd. That dialogue felt very odd to me. Because, Danny hasn't been acting like a living weapon in the past few issues. He's like, she should be like, good, that means you still have a brain, as opposed to just being some drug-addled hippie. But,
I do like that t-shirt, though.
Yeah, I was actually about to point out that t-shirt that Danny's wearing. Just,
I had many Shark Surfer t-shirts in the 80s.
Oh, God, I don't want Surfer to, Danny.
Well, it looks like that's what we're getting.
I was going to get used to it now.
Oh, no.
Look at that shirt and the way he's been acting. It's Surfer Danny.
He's in this issue, though, he's better than that awful cartoon, at least.
He's going to start wearing capri pants and open-toed sandals.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a matter of time.
Alright, so they killed Rhodey.
James Rhodes, best known as War Machine, has been confirmed dead. Rhodes, a close friend of Tony Stark, had at various times been affiliated with both S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Avengers. And then, flashback, some time ago. And I don't know where this took place. I don't remember seeing this, but unfortunately, when I moved into the house, I stopped collecting for a while because it was a hot mess, and I think this is where this might have fallen. Where we have Luke Cage arguing with War Machine, and the Falcon trying to keep them separated.
They're pretty much just arguing about, because War Machine's like blown up a building. No one was in it, but Luke Cage is just like, that's just, he's essentially just calling him reckless, and he, saying he should cover the damages, which is kind of like the Avengers, and Rhodey points us out, the Avengers and Iron Man always cover the damages. And they're pretty much just arguing about, like, the collateral damage.
Well, from where Luke's coming from, I almost want to say, because it's inner city.
Yeah.
I want to say he's more about, you're destroying the neighborhood where these people live who are not essentially well off. So it's going to be more than covering the building. It's going to be covering every person's items that they just lost because they really don't have much to begin with. So you're taking the downtrodden who've run for their lives because this shitstorm just went through the city, and now you've basically eradicated everything they owned with your carelessness.
Yeah.
Because at that time, that's what basically Luke Cage was all about. Standing up for the people who couldn't stand up.
Well, it's still like that now. Well, it looks like it's going to be like that anyway. Instead of him just being like I don't even know what to call it. Doesn't matter.
Well,
I like Jessica this issue.
Jessica was a huge improvement in the last two issues.
Mm-hmm.
She's no longer the...
I think she's bringing them food.
Yep.
She's left the house, and she's not just nagging.
Yeah.
I was at Kineticon here the last weekend, which is a humongous anime convention. And even though it started off as an anime convention, it's gone more worldly. Lots of people dressed up as superheroes, video game people, a bunch of celebrities. I got a bunch of autographs and whatnot. You would not believe how many women were dressed as Jessica Jones from the Netflix show, just because it was so easy.
Yeah, and it's comfortable, and, it's a good outfit.
Hair in a ponytail, leather jacket, I think it was a purple tank top, torn up blue jeans, walking around with a cup of coffee.
Yep, perfect.
No makeup. I literally saw, I think, 7 different women dressed as Jessica.
They have to make sure they smell really bad as well.
I still haven't watched the Netflix, so I don't know about that.
You read Alias?
That was so long ago.
It was pretty good.
Long time ago. I have the $300 hardcover.
Wow.
$300 dudes.
I'm not sure
That's American.
I'm not sure it's worth $300 for me.
Oh, it used to be worth $700 at one time.
Oh, for sure, but I like Alias, but
they re-released it, so there's a second print, so that dropped the price of the first print considerably. I mean, that was my thing back in the day. I would buy all the issues and read them, and then when the hardcover came out, I would buy the hardcover. Like, my hardcover's still sealed in its shrink wrap because I didn't need to open it.
Funnily enough, I think the weakest Alias story besides the opening one was the Purple Man story. I thought the other stories were much better, including the Pulse as well.
I gotta reread all that. It's been too long and too much in between.
Anyway,
we cut back from the flashback, and Jessica's asking if Luke is okay, and Luke is basically saying that Rhodey and I had a beef a while back. It was petty stuff, but we never got around to squashing it.
Petty stuff for superheroes, maybe. But, I don't think it's that petty.
Then back to the TV, There's also unconfirmed reports that She-Hulk has been critically injured during the latest skirmish.
Squirmish.
Skirmish.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to She-Hulk and Iron Fist making out.
Woohoo!
What's going on there?
Well, I
Danny
could go into it.
apologizing. Jen, I'm so sorry. And She-Hulk, who apparently has shrunk 1.5 feet.
It's Danny's boobs.
If you know what I'm talking about, Danny's 5'11". Last time I checked, She-Hulk close to 7 foot.
Yeah. He's
It's
standing
okay.
on a box.
You just saved my life. Emotions were high, and well, you just saved my life. And Danny's going, well, still, it's unprofessional, and you're a lawyer, so you could sue me for sexual harassment. And if Misty ever found out, I miss her so much.
And Misty just has to break into this issue and ruin my day. She just can't leave it alone. Just has to pop up everywhere.
She will definitely be back, especially with this writer. You can pretty much count on Misty will be back.
And she'll be complaining. That's why Jessica Jones calmed down. Because all of the negative energy is just going to Misty.
Although Misty was in a comic this week where she pretty much said she and Danny were over.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
In a phone call to her mum. Referring to him as her kung fu boyfriend.
Danny should get together with...
She's in Civil War 2, Choosing Sides 2. It's about how some of the women react to Rhodey's funeral. It's like America Chavez, Misty, Monica Rambeau, and someone else. But Misty goes back to the dojo and she's on the phone with her mum and she's like, I'm with Sam now. So he helps this little girl with some moves and stuff. Says, I'm done waiting for these superhero men. It's time for Misty to be on her own. But then she says she's with Sam, so.
Who's the superhero?
Yeah.
I know.
Everything I just said,
Yes, but, you know.
Hey, it's classic Misty right there.
No, I like Misty.
I'm the only one who doesn't, it seems like.
No, it's the only one who doesn't. It's not.
You are.
It's like it. You are.
You are.
It's because I'm right and everyone else is wrong.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the secret.
Anyway, Danny and...
She basically says, I kissed you, this, that, and the other thing, and don't live your life waiting for somebody else. You're a great guy, and they go back to kissing. And she basically...
You should totally just go with She-Hulk instead. Oh, wait, no, Ben has killed her. Oops.
No, we don't think so, maybe.
Oh, she's not dead yet.
She's in a coma.
She's in a coma.
This is soap opera stuff right here. This is soap opera writing.
Yes.
Well, let's be honest, the comic book is just a soap opera on a piece of paper with superpowers.
Yeah, but usually they're written better than soap operas. It's like, I don't want to read Civil War, The Bold and the Beautiful. Oh, they were awake out of their coma.
Like sand through an hourglass. And anonymous source claims that She-Hulk is now in a coma and is not expected to survive the night. Click. I can't listen anymore. I just don't. It's okay, brother. I just, Danny, and then Jessica, of all people, pulls Danny into a group hug for all four of them.
Which is lovely.
As the color fades and the sand through the hourglass falls.
I was actually thinking of doing that, but...
Now we're led to a dark alley where Charles Cardona, formerly known as Carlos Cabrera, a.k.a. Gamecock.
Which is the best name ever. Now, he was actually in Powerman and Iron Fist, right? The old stuff?
Yeah.
Because I think I remember him. I just vaguely remember the name.
Yeah, the writer, David, is pretty much going to be pulling in all the classics from what I understand. The man has done his research.
Oh, yeah.
Facial recognition identification confirmed as he's being chased down the alley by a car. Inside said car or minivan, because apparently two are driving and there's a couple people in the back seat, as we see in the next shot. Preemptive strike is what they're called. Concerned citizens taking the law into their own hands.
Vigilantes.
What?
Yeah, I said vigilantes, but they're sort of not. They're sort of they think they're vigilantes.
They look like bad WWF wrestlers. Or WWE now, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I still do that as well. The misname, anyway.
Stupid Wildlife Federation.
Stupid pandas.
That's right.
How dare they interfere with my grown men hugging each other?
Oily grown men.
Oh, those crazy.
And one of them's got a tablet. They're using a facial recognition software to confirm that even though his identity has been changed, he is in fact Gamecock.
It's like, if he's innocent, then why'd you run?
Exactly. Now he's cornered. He's making his stand against the wall. I don't want no trouble. And now we have the entire clan out of the van. Bats, armor, tonfas, baseball bats, nunchucks or nunchuckus, depending on how you would like to pronounce that. Wheat thrashers, because that's what they actually were. You should have thought that before you broke the law, Carlos. The name is Charles Cardona, not according to our intel, amigo, which is now reading 100% confirmation. Charles tries to make a run for it. He puts up somewhat of a fight and basically winds up at the bottom of a beating match. We now see his
bam, crack, pow, crunch.
And I believe one of the guys on the left is punching him directly into the crotch.
It's like a double punch or something unique. Anyway, that's not that important.
He's bloody and beaten on the ground, and they're saying, that's it. All right, then. Who's next on the list?
So I think it's ambiguous if he's, like, dead or not.
Right.
I'm not sure myself.
They kind of leave it open later on.
Yeah.
A body apparently wasn't found. All right, I'm not pronouncing that word.
Triskelion.
I'm sorry, I really am. But Jennifer is in no condition to have visitors. And because you're not immediate family, we cannot give you specifics of her condition. Dr. Adam Brashear, a.k.a. the Blue Marvel. Who, if you don't know who the Blue Marvel is, you suck, because he's awesome.
He was made pretty recently, but in the Marvel Universe, he's been around since, like, the 60s.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost like the whole Sentry thing. They almost like made him disappear. And Danny's there in his other interesting outfit. I can't even comment on this one.
Not a surfer outfit.
White t-shirt. Yeah, he's got a hoodie on, dude. White t-shirt, hoodie, and then a blue long sleeve jacket over the top, which looks to have some type of emblem on the shoulders and on the left breast. Don't know what that's about.
And Luke Cage is wearing yellow on the jacket.
Yellow and leather.
Yeah.
And Luke Cage is like, so, okay, man, I understand. It's just so the rumors are true. And then we have Carol Danvers walking around the corner. The two of you are really back together. If it wasn't for the circumstances, I'd say we should celebrate. All right here, I want to comment on the stupidity of a man whose life force is attached to the Iron Fist chi, who can pretty much heal anyone from death's door, not being allowed to see a person who's in a critical coma who could be dead at any moment.
You know whose fault this is?
I have a feeling I know where this is going.
Do you know whose it is, Carl?
Bendis's?
Yes, exactly. Right on the head right there. Look, when Bendis is concerned, there's no continuity. There's no established lore or characters or personalities. Anything goes, man. It's like a roller coaster. You just got to go with the flow, or you're a loser, square nerd.
Honestly, it makes no sense. Honestly, let's be completely honest here.
It doesn't make any sense.
With what Danny can do, every superhero team on the planet should have his ass on speed dial.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is the guy who, like, got shot in the chest, then shot the bullet out of it with his chi and healed up. He's done some other impressive healing feats as well.
A Nightcrawler should have Danny's ass on his GPS on his iPhone. So when somebody gets messed up in the X-Men, he can just teleport to where Danny is, get Danny, and teleport back to the wounded person.
Danny, they took Magneto's brain. Oh, no, not Magneto. Xavier's brain.
I don't know if you can say that.
I mean, do you remember that? Oh, it's so stupid.
Yes, I remember all that stuff. I was reading the X-Men for years back then.
Oh, God.
All the crap that went down with brains and bodies and clone bodies and, oh, now that clone body's a cripple too, and oh, this body works perfectly fine. You just have a mental block. You can't walk.
I wonder if anyone misses the Clone Saga yet. Yeah, I don't, but like... So, yeah, actually fun, little tidbit, I can't remember the character's name in the Jessica Jones show, but her best friend, her adopted sister...
Hellcat?
Yeah. She's pretty much Miss Marvel, from the comics, but obviously they couldn't use Miss Marvel in case they wanted to use her in the movies, so yeah, they just replaced her with Hellcat. Like, she pretty much serves the exact same purpose as the, comic.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, Carol wants to talk to the two guys, and she's like, I'm not asking you to choose sides. And they're saying, of course, you can explain it all to us, most definitely. That's what we're here for. And later, where they're showing leaving the building after Carol has explained everything. And Luke looks at Danny, and he's like, are you okay? And Danny says, no. And then Danny goes into a rant about how Bendis is a horrible writer.
Yes, I was a pretty big fan of this part. So this is good. This is what I want
That
to say.
could be either of us back there in the ICU, or Jessica, or Misty. Again, Misty for Connor.
Oh God, he did. I didn't even register that when I read it. It must just I must be subconsciously blocking it out.
No, that word's not there. Could be any of us being buried instead of Rhodey. You think I haven't thought the same thing? And what was all the predictive justice stuff Carol was talking about? Sounds like a bunch of fiddle-faddle to me.
This whole thing is a bunch of fiddle-faddle, if you ask me.
I'm driving. I built the thing. I should get to drive it. I trust you with my life, but I don't trust you with my life that way. You feel me? You've mastered nearly every known form of martial arts. I've mastered, nearly every form of martial arts, and you don't trust me to drive. We get attacked by a car that knows kung fu. You can handle it. You can use your karate skills. Get it? Like karate, only with a car. That's not funny.
When I read this and he said, if we come across a car that knows kung fu, I just lost it.
Yeah, it was
hilarious.
And then Danny's like, are you ready to talk about this? Yeah, this. Everything that's going on. Been thinking a lot about this, brother. Now he's turning into Mr. T. I got into this business to help people. I don't mind fighting the bad guys. Hell, sometimes I kind of enjoy it. But I gotta tell you, I don't have it in me to fight my friends anymore. Not after the last time.
And the last
flashback scene of a giant 15 people fight, Sentry's in there, Wolverine's in there, Ares is in there.
And that's the other thing is Wolverine wasn't
that's
in
War
the Civil
Machine
War
in the
either.
bottom left-hand corner.
Wolverine went and hunted down, what was that dude's name? The guy who actually blew everyone up?
The what?
In the first Civil War.
Nitro?
Yeah, he went and hunted down Nitro instead of choosing a side.
I don't think I actually read that part.
It's pretty good. It was the Wolverine Civil War book.
Yeah.
I didn't read that one. I
It's just
read
like-
the main title and a couple of the offshoots. Mainly, I think the Avengers one's just to follow Danny. Because let's
Honestly,
be honest, I don't have that type of money to buy all these damn books when they come out.
the offshoots, some of the offshoots were actually pretty good, especially Frontline with Ben
I
Urich.
love Frontline.
That was the best one.
I love that one. Yeah, because it
yeah.
had all the Speedball stuff in, and then and all the press stuff.
But the worst book, easily the worst book, was the Civil War book itself. A lot of the offshoots are pretty good, but it's just the main book was just really bad, I thought. Yeah.
So after the flashback scene, they both agree that they're sitting this one out.
Hooray, we all cheer.
Yeah,
I don't have to buy 7F and comic books.
uh,
Funny you should say that. I was thinking the same thing. I've had too much fighting with old friends to go through this crunch and munch. And Luke goes, fiddle-faddle. The term is fiddle-faddle. That's right. I can't go through this fiddle-faddle. And if you don't know, crunch and munch is basically exactly what fiddle-faddle is. It's just produced by a different company. And it's also pretty much, it's just Cracker Jacks.
oh.
Cracker Jacks, fiddle-faddle, and crunch and munch are basically the same thing, except I think one's like caramel, and one's butter, toffee, and the flavors are slightly different, but it's all pretty much the same stuff. Popcorn, peanuts, covered in syrup. Now we go to some shady bar somewhere where someone
A
is...
lovely little poster, lovely little Heroes for Hire coming soon poster. It's cute.
At the last panel outside their
Yeah.
headquarters, next to the barber shop. And we have Shadrick Daniels, a.k.a. the Mangler, former criminal. Shirt completely ripped off except for half a sleeve in his collar, barstool above his head, busted up. You think I'm playing around here? I ain't done a damn thing wrong. And here we have our vigilante group again. Failed WWE wrestlers. Oh, but you will do something wrong, Mangler, and that's why we've come for you. Wrong! You came for a beatdown, as the Mangler charges into the group and is quickly, I'm going to say overpowered, because there's quickly 4 on top of him. I can't remember if Mangler actually has any superpower or not.
There's an amusing, there's like a customer at the bar just running in terror away from the scene.
There's actually 2. They got the guy in the baseball hat, too, and the bartender's just like, my place.
Should be, yeah. So, the next day.
The very next day.
So there's
Another
a purple
van
car,
outside.
van, that just, you sure this is a place? Positive. Let's get this over and done with. So, yeah, they're sitting outside of the Heroes for Hire headquarters, whatever you want to call it, layout, basement, dungeon, cave.
And here we have another funny conversation with Luke and Danny. And Danny is wearing the typical surfer Hawaiian shirt on her.
Stop it. I don't see it. I don't see it. My eyes are blind.
Alright, you're not going to see the capri pants and the...
I'm not going
the flip-flops.
I am not going to watch Danny turn into that absolutely disgusting show. He is so bad in that show. I do not want him to turn into that.
Connor is referring to the cartoon.
Yeah, Ultimate
Spider-Man and the Web Warriors, or Ultimate Spider-Man, where, hey, dude, I'm a surfer dude who doesn't even have a tattoo on my chest or brand.
That's the worst part. Right.
But I wear plum smuggling Speedos under my suit.
Yeah, what was with that? That was...
I don't know.
And then they went to Kunlun, and it was so bad. Nothing like Kunlun.
No. More Avatar.
King of Kunlun, what?
Alright, for the last time, we're not painting this place yellow. But you love yellow. You wear yellow shirts like all the time. And those yellow Buccaneer boots you used to wear, tell me those weren't custom made. Now Luke's putting on a front here. He's got his arms crossed on his chest, and he's looking all serious. Yellow as a fashion statement, especially within the world of crime fighting, is a bold, offensive strategy. It carries with it a subliminal message that is meant to throw the enemy because yellow represents cowardice. And Danny's like, seriously? No, I just made that up. But it sounds better than admitting I made a bad costume decision, which is why we're not painting this place yellow. I don't want the reminder.
Hey, it might be a bad costume decision nowadays. Back then, it was groovy.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have a group of people standing in the foreground saying, I heard the 2 of you are back together. And Luke's going, sweet Christmas.
You read
No
that.
one told us the please beat my ass convention was in town.
That was my favorite line this entire issue. I laughed at that so much. It was great.
And then Danny's going, that's right, you should have all brought umbrellas because we're about to start raining ass kickings. Raining, Luke asks, is a creative metaphor.
Danny's charging up his fists.
And now we have the 5 people in question. We've got little Ben Donovan, honest citizen, son of bad guy, big Ben Donovan.
Mm-hmm.
Jasper Spears Daniels, who looks like he's wearing a bad ripoff of Iron Fist's current costume. Active bad guy, brother of Mangler Daniels. Cletus the Disco Devil Evans, retired bad guy. Marta Cardona, honest citizen, daughter of Charles Gamecock Cardona.
And the best one coming up.
Don Trell, Cockroach Hamilton, active bad guy.
Does anyone remember this guy? Because I don't, but he looks like a pimp.
Oh, he's definitely a pimp.
I mean, and
I want to say issue 8 of the original run, but I may be wrong on that.
And Cockroach is saying, that's right, so power down, 5 fingers of death.
That's right. Another
People-
Kung Fu reference right there. Can't go
People
wrong with
listen
that.
to our first and second episode should be able to do that.
Yeah, that's where the whole Iron Fist concept came from.
If you haven't, you can find us on Facebook. You can go to the first episode there. It's okay.
If you're not looking for a fight, why? You better have a good reason for being here. And Danny's like, yeah, because I've got an itch that can only be scratched by... Luke's like, please stop with the creative metaphors.
I want to see where that was going.
What's on Luke's shirt, which is a cute little unicorn
Oh god, Luke,
that
really?
says, tender but tough.
Wow.
Now, Don Trell speaks up. Look, everyone knows how Tombstone hired you for protection when the skinny white girl got possessed. And that's what we want to do, hire y'all to protect us. That's what you do, heroes for hire. And now we got Luke and Danny going, you confused? I'm confused. Tombstone did hire us. Yeah, but that was... Exactly. And this is most definitely. And the skinny white girl wasn't white, just to clear everything up there. So that's a major confusion on their part.
Yeah.
And then we have little Ben Donovan quoting, excuse me, Mr. Cage, Mr. Iron Fist, can we explain all of this? And then we go to a few minutes later. What do you think? Is someone running around hunting down ex-cons? Could be, but who's doing the hunting and why'd they pick these guys? I mean, come on, Gamecock. And his daughter is like, I can hear you, you know. And Luke's like backpedaling. Sorry, kid, your father was the quality bad guy. And Danny's double thumbs up with his surfer bracelet on, Connor.
Mm-hmm.
Going, the best. Never got the right he respected, dude. Oh.
Hey, stop it. Stop it, Carl. I can keep denying it as long as I want.
That's okay.
You know who the best?
Looks like straight out of a Jennifer Lopez video. Look, my Pat wasn't anything special. She's basically trying to defend her dad because he raised her as a single father.
Pretty much. But do you know who the best D-list bad guy is?
The best D-list.
Or C-list. I don't know which one he is, technically. Still man.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
He's amazing. Well, I think Punisher killed him at one point, but yeah.
So they say, of course, we're going to help you, just as the entire wall explodes inside their undecorated headquarters. And the zoo crew busts in. Looks like the big guy now has charging hands. I told you I could get these things to work. Good job, Hank. From now, my codename's Blast Hands.
So is it Hank Pym or Hank McCoy? It's one of them. I sense a conspiracy here.
I don't think it's either of them.
No, I don't either.
So the entire crew of people here is in shambles. There's rubble everywhere. Did you get the number of that truck? Or sorry, did you get like the number of that truck?
Dude.
No, but I got a special number for that truck. And it goes a little something like this. Kick it! As Danny and Luke go into action, kicking ass, taking names for messing up the brand new headquarters. The hirees are trying to run as Ben's calling the cops. The cockroach is saying, "Never call the cops. Cops are already coming. I hear the sirens." Luke is protecting the daughter of Gamecock, because God forbid she singes those eyebrows. "Stay behind me." "Hold on, kid," as they're blasted through the wall from blast hands.
And then a billion cops, SWAT team, come through the...
Entire cops come in, and we get a little political reference coming up very soon of the state of being going on in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
"I told you not to call the kid. Sorry, I wasn't thinking. Call the cop. Pig. Sorry, I wasn't thinking straight. You cosplaying punks come right out of a comic book."
Can our listeners guess what that's from?
A tweaked line from Enter the Dragon.
Yep. Which is a good movie.
Gamecock's daughter is helping Luke Cage up. "Come on, we got to get out of here." Ben, the innocent Donovan, is being choked out by a SWAT member while one of the other guys is holding his hand behind his back. Danny comes up and double kicks both cops off at the same time, going, "Let the man breathe."
Police brutality!
Yes, this is a police comment on what recently went down in the United States, where a man was literally choked to death by a police officer for selling singles outside of a package store. And if you don't know what that is, he's basically selling single cigarettes, which is illegal because you have to pay taxes, pay state money, all that good stuff in order to sell cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
And a pack of cigarettes currently in the United States with tax is about $11.
Which is worth a human life.
And people can actually make money by selling single cigarettes because they're so addictive for $8 a piece. So you're essentially doubling your money.
Yeah.
The current crew makes a comment about the cops as they're running out the hole. Danny is now charging another cop with a giant shield. "You fools are going to get somebody killed." As the other half of the crew is actually loading a dazed Luke Cage into, I'm guessing, a vehicle, their van. "Shut up and help, Dontrell."
And then there's this panel here, and the cops are like to Danny, "Freeze!" And Danny's like, "It's okay, I used to be an Avenger." And it's like, alright, so let's talk a little bit here. Alright, so the Avengers have Deadpool now. Now, I've read Deadpool since, well, not since his conception, because I wasn't born then. No, I was, but I've read him for a long time. I've read nearly every single issue, even the awful Daniel Way ones. And the fact that he's an Avenger, no matter how heroic he is, everyone knows the stuff he's done, and he's an Avenger. Wolverine's an Avenger too. If those two are Avengers, being an Avenger means nothing. Diddly squat. I'm just going to say that, because, essentially Stiltman could be an Avenger now, and I would not be surprised. So, I think me and Karl mentioned this before, being a hero for hire has more credibility than being an Avenger now. That's more impressive.
Deadpool's been a hero for hire too, though.
That was very temporary, though. Wasn't he that was one issue, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he also came as the temp when they were in the Defenders.
Oh.
There was a later one, wasn't there? There was one issue where he came in as a temp, and him and Danny had lots of, it's where Danny calls him Spider-Man, just to annoy him. It's kind of funny.
Oh, was that the Deadpool team up with Iron Fist?
I think it's just in one of, the 90s Heroes for Hire.
Yeah, there was that too, yeah, I remember that. And
yeah,
Deadpool faced
the
up
one
against
with White Tiger mooning over Danny.
Yeah. That was a good issue.
Don't get me started on that. I still think that should have happened. And it still could happen, but...
It still could happen.
Because she is still out there. She's just untransformed.
I'm still waiting. Where is Bob? Where is Bob Diamond? Have we seen him since the 90s?
I know. I'd love to have Bob Diamond back.
He popped up in Namor.
Are active. Literally, I don't think any of those guys have shown up in 15, 20 friggin' years. It's all untapped.
Bob used to be with Colleen. In fact, I think he is with Colleen in the stuff we're covering. I don't know. Anyway, this is like a crazy tangent. So, yeah, Luke's trying to get away from the people who are helping him. He's just like, I've got to help Danny. And they're pretty much like, there's no helping him for that. And you see Cockroach just running off in the background. See ya, what gonna do ya? And the, what's the name of these guys? The vigilantes again? Do they have a name? They're just running off.
No, they're not predictive justice. They're something else.
Preemptive strike.
Preemptive strike.
And they've arrested Danny and...
Sounds like a bad 80s hair band.
The brother of an active supervillain who's also an active supervillain, so I guess he's being arrested for being an active supervillain. I can't remember his name, I'm sorry.
Cockroach is saying, feet don't fail me now!
He's still going. He hasn't gotten far.
He's little.
Yeah, he's
I have sympathy for him. I wouldn't get far either.
And the last scene is Danny being taken away in the paddy wagon.
I mean, he should probably just break out, because then we might get a really...
Maybe they'll cut his hair.
Give him a shave. And anyway, as he gets loaded into the paddy wagon, it's to be continued.
They're going to give him a full body cavity search.
Can do, like, the best issues of The Punisher are where he's in prison, and Daredevil, where he was in prison, that was amazing as well. Now I just want, like, Iron Fist in prison for ages. But I want The Punisher there, too.
You know the cover I posted a while ago had Iron Fist melting the bars with his...
Yeah.
Well, that was the other thing I was going to mention, like, he'd probably just break out. I mean, I wouldn't care if I was Danny anyway. Just leave. Just go to Kunlun.
But it hasn't been 10 years.
Does that even matter anymore? Has that mattered since, like, the first issue?
You know what I found irritating? I just posted that brand new pin and card that they're selling.
Yeah,
Facebook page. If you read the back of the card, because I wanted to post that to make sure everyone saw, they're still going with the original origin as if none of Immortal happened.
Which is crazy.
It states on the card he's the only one ever to get the Iron Fist.
Really?
Yeah.
How recent's the card?
It just came out, dude. It's not even 30 days old.
That's crazy. It's really weird, because Immortal's been the most popular Iron Fist run by far, I think.
Yeah.
Like, so many people, including me, got into Iron Fist through that run.
And it's still the one I think most people would recommend people start with.
Immortal's fantastic, but let's be honest, for what the original origin was, it destroys it.
Yeah,
it changes up so much stuff.
I still recommend, like, at least the first arc, like, up until Master Khan of the Ninja, like, finale. I think that's the best place to start with Iron Fist. I mean, I guess it depends if, like, people are, if they can read older comics, if you know what I mean.
It very much depends on that, because you have to... It's a lot to sometimes get used to that style.
Yeah.
Rebecca, do you have the Marvel Universe subscription?
Yes.
Can you read all the old stuff on there?
Yes, pretty much.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I don't have a decent tablet, so I have not done that yet. But that
yeah,
is.
I forced a new tablet on myself for that.
If I ever get a good one that I don't let the kids touch because they destroy everything. We have a little 7-inch Amazon one, and it barely works within weeks of getting it. And I'm going to get the subscription because I think once a year they even drop the price to $50 for an entire.
Yeah, I got it at Thanksgiving because they dropped it by $10. But usually when one of their big films comes out, like so when Strange comes out, they usually have like 15% off. They've got loads of offers throughout the year, and as long as you like get it when they've got one of those on, it's pretty good.
So, what did you two think of that issue?
I'm excited for 7.
I loved it. Yeah.
Yep.
I was so happy that I really thought they'd do the whole shtick of like, oh, Civil War, they'll both have to be on different sides, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like so happy they were like, no, we're going to sit it out. And then they found a really lovely way to be involved with the whole predictive justice stuff. Like, well, no, we will protect these guys because that's what they do.
Yeah, they're acting like superheroes. They're not acting like...
Yeah.
Now, my question to you guys is, do you think this was done because of the upcoming Netflix shows? Nothing could really be done major with these characters. So they need to be safe, is what I'm saying.
I wouldn't say that. Like, changing sides in a Civil War event, I mean, they'll kiss and make up by the end of the event. I don't really think that's a game changer. If I was Marvel, I'd be worried about what Mr. Andrews has in store for Danny. Because he writes some crazy stuff, so who knows what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
And also, his run's coming right as Luke Cage is out.
I think I was talking
So that
September.
if Danny is even hinted at, but everyone knows that's the one coming next. So, like, you have a new Iron Fist series run starting just then. There's going to be a lot of people trying it out, probably.
Yeah. And as we were saying earlier, because of Netflix, we know Iron Fist is safe. Because if we didn't have a Iron Fist Netflix show, I wouldn't put it past Mr. Andrews to, like, just kill Danny or something. Because he's crazy.
I think he really likes Danny. Yeah, but I think he likes Danny.
He does.
I think there's a lot more he wants to explore about Danny, and I think
the mentor thing's a great place to start.
But there's also a definite reason, like I was saying to you earlier, that the kid's 6. Like, you know, she's not really, you know, like, she's, even with the sort of 15-year-old replacement, she's 6.
That's true.
So, she's got a while. And I think, from, like, what he said in interviews about Danny, and, like, abandonment issues and fatherhood issues and things like that, I think hopefully there's a real sort of capacity, some interesting stories there.
Yeah, there was some, like, retroactive retcons in Living Weapon. None that were major. Or I guess, I don't know if you call them major, but they add new perspective onto the origin. And it really
I think that's
showed...
what he was trying to do, yeah.
But he never changed Danny's character. Like, I felt like I was reading the same Danny that I was reading in Marvel Premiere 15 and 16.
Mm-hmm.
Albeit, like, a different tone and a different time, but, like, yeah, he definitely understands the character. He understands the serious side of the character, which is something I've always appreciated. Because my only complaint about Immortal Weapon is Danny's a bit of a goof in that. Like, considering that he's the lead, if you know what I mean.
He's a bit up and down in it sometimes. Like, there's bits where he's great, and there's bits where he's just a bit, you know.
Yeah.
Let's do this then.
But, yeah, I really like that issue as well. I was still a bit skeptical after the last issue, not because there was anything wrong with it, but just because, you know, what it feels like fluke. But this is 2 issues in a row where it's been really good. After this issue, I thought this issue was really good. It had good serious stuff as well. The police stuff, the police brutality stuff was very on the nose, but there's nothing wrong with that because, I mean, Superman, the most well-known superhero in the world, he started off being just a pulp strip to vent frustration against, like, corruption and stuff, so there's nothing wrong with really putting real-world stuff in comics as long as it's not, I don't know, trivial, stupid, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, as long as there's a story that fits.
That's what I was, more saying, I'm not good with words. But no, everyone enjoyed the issue.
So, your biggest issue is Surfer Danny and Misty Knight references.
Yeah, but to be honest, like, I didn't even notice the Surfer Danny thing until you pointed it out. Well, because he's not really... Yeah, he dresses like a surfer, but he's not really acting like one. Like, not in the context of that show, anyway. He's still a pretty far stretch from that. And, like, this Danny compared to the Danny we've had for 4 issues, oof, much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't really have many complaints. I don't have any complaints about this issue, really. I thought it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Just like last issue, I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, so as I said last week, if you did not like the series in the first 4 issues and you dropped it, I strongly recommend starting from issue 5 or 6 and see how that goes, because you can pick these up. And you can pick these up without reading the first 4. The first 4 aren't important. these can be picked up because it establishes everything fine. So, yeah, I definitely recommend you give it another chance.
Yes, you don't need all 12 covers of number 1 like I have.
No, you don't.
Yeah, see, I thought I was crazy because I got like 2 of the variants, and you just got all 12.
I only get the Scotty Young ones.
I got the hip-hop variant and the classic 70s variant, actually.
Although for the Deadpool crossover, I got the Iron Fist and Powerman.
Mm.
Yes, we're going to have to do a show on that one also.
Yeah. So
we have to do the other 2-issue run first, though, before we do that one.
Yeah.
So have you guys got anything else to add?
No, I will. I'll dig out some of the stuff Misty says in this choosing sides and put it on Facebook.
Yeah, sure. I'd be much appreciated.
So it's quite fun. Yeah.
Thanks to Rebecca for joining us tonight.
Yeah, Rebecca.
Thank you.
You're welcome to come along whenever you want. If you're awake the same time as us.
It's all going to depend on timing and if I'm awake.
Yeah.
We have like crazy time zones.
So Rebecca might be popping up now and then. We'll just play it by ear, I guess. When the stars align, then all 3 of us will record. But so next week we will be covering.
We need another member from China.
Yeah, we need to start branching out to different planets now.
Need to find out how many more different English accents you can get.
Oh Lord. So next week we'll be covering Iron Fist 11. Is it 11 we're up to? Or is it 12? It's 11,
Yeah,
I'm pretty
it's
sure.
11.
Oh, cool. Which is a good issue. And the follow-up to that is another good issue. In fact, they're both pretty close together, because nothing much happens in 11, so I was thinking maybe we could do like a 2-on-1.
Maybe.
We'll see how we go. So until next time, may your fiddle faddle be unto like a thing of...
Crunch and munch.
Yes.
That works.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Iron Fist and all other characters in these comics are properties of Marvel and Disney, and any music or images we use belong to their respective copyright holders, and we do this for fun, so please don't sue us. You can contact us at sonsofthedragonpodcast@gmail.com. Just send us mail, comments, thoughts, send us anything you want really, even if it's not about Iron Fist. And if you don't want it read out on the air, just mention that. You can also reach us at Facebook, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast, Sons of the Dragon, our Twitter, at Iron Fist Podcast, our Soundcloud, soundcloud.com/Sons of the Dragon with hyphens where the spaces are, our YouTube, Connor Karl, just search Iron Fist Podcast on YouTube and you'll find us real quick. And then there's our WordPress, Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast.wordpress.com. We are also on iTunes, feel free to rate us there. If you rate us less than 5 stars, well, just tell us what we're doing wrong and we'll try and improve that. And last but not least, we are on Podcast Garden in the literature section. And thanks to Thomas Tissot for the theme song at the start. And thanks.